Bowls buddies, good morning and welcome to another Friday and another episode of Ask Andy. I think this is the 24th one I've done, which, wow, that's amazing. 24 weeks, frightening. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful day. Every day is beautiful when you're watching me, I guess. Okay. Guys, if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a Bowls buddy and a member of this wonderful community, please click the subscribe button. It's completely free of charge. And hit the notification bell for notifications of new content on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. Going to be a little bit different today. Normally it would be somebody's asked a question or sent an interesting message and I would spout on a bit for 10-20 minutes or whatever, give you my views. A little bit different. It is based on a message somebody sent me. Alan Ward, and a lot of you'll know Alan, lives in Blackpool, good player, does a lot behind the scenes. He's on a lot of committees. He was involved with the Fleetwood Festival back in the day. I think he's involved with some of the bowling leagues over that way as well. Got in touch with me to remind me of a few things that had happened when we'd met in the past, all to do with striking. It was after the tutorial striking video that I did, and he was some of it was about the health and safety aspects of it, and you know, should I have said about how to stop the ball and things like that, and that may come at another time. But he then went on to mention some of the little tricks that he's encountered over the years, and I'll be honest with you, they're things I've come across as well. So mate, I thought I'd just mention some of the black arts. I nearly said dark arts. The black arts of striking. And there's the obvious one. You play a really good end, you've played a good ball, you put one in the way, they can't see it. You've walked off that and you know that they can't see it, but yet somebody struck and hit. Well, it doesn't take a lot to put two and two together and come up with the fact that they've not stood on the mat when they've struck. And you think, well, that can't happen, nobody will do that. Really? That happens far more often than you realise, and you need to have eyes in the back of your head with some people, and they have no qualms about not standing on the mat and striking. I could name some very good players who would happily stand a foot to the side of the mat and strike, but this isn't about naming names, it's just making you aware of what can happen. And that's really the main one for the person that's striking. The rest of them is usually the person on who's hoping that his opponent's going to miss a strike. And you'll have seen them. You go, can you stop this please, pal? Yeah, no problem. And they stand behind the head. Sorry, head. Yeah, stand behind the head, stand behind the bowls, ready for this strike. And just as you let go, they run out the way and let your ball smash against the boards and get nice and white. Or they stand behind the bowls and have a little bit of a jitter, you know, they have a funny turn and they're jittering and dancing about. Yeah, it's funny how it's just as you're about to let go of the ball, they start having these little twitches. The guys who, you know, you've missed the strike, whatever, the ball's going straight to them, they just lift their foot up, you know, let your ball go. That's always good of them. My favourite, and you have to be very, very cute to get away with this, is the person who goes to stop the ball but makes sure that they don't stop it with the meaty part of their foot or the sole of their foot, which would stop the ball. They get the toe to it, and the ball will hit the toe, and if it's going at any pace, it'll jump in the air and go over the boards and smash into the rockeries or whatever. I must admit, I have done that a couple of times myself against opponents who have overstepped the mark, shall we say, and sometimes you just have to get your own back. And he reminded, going back to Alan, he reminded me of a game that we played on the rakes, and I think it's a subconscious thing, but whenever I'm playing somebody with shiny balls, I tend to strike more. Don't know why. It's just one of those amazingly, incredibly coincidental things, I guess. I was playing Alan, and apparently he'd just had his bowls polished, and I knocked his bowls all over Blackpool. And in the end, well, being the gentleman that Alan is, and this is something that a lot of people do, and they don't really think about it. They always stop the ball that's been struck with, which is generally your opponent's. You never think about stopping your own, and that was Alan. I'm striking and hitting, and he's not stopping his balls, he's stopping my ball. His balls have gone from being black to almost white, looking like Dalmatians and all the rest of it. And about 3/4 of the way through the game, he realises this, and obviously starts to stop his own balls when they've been hit, which is absolutely, that's the mantra you should live your life by. Stop your own ball. Don't go stopping the strike. Of course, there's that famous, well, I mean, I've done it as a laugh, but there's people who, you know, said, you know, stop this. So they've struck and it's looking like it's going to hit, and the opponent stops it before it hits the jack of the ball or whatever. And what have you done that for? Well, you told me to stop it, so I did. Keep your eye on this, so you do. You just watch it as it goes past into the ditch. So personally, I think if you're striking, you should just tell your opponent, and he can stop his own ball, get out the way, whatever. As long as you're not injuring somebody, that's the main thing. Make sure the people behind watching don't get injured. Yeah, I could go on, but I don't want to give you any more bad habits for you to pick up on. Striking's one of those things where, you know, you have to take it on the chin a little bit. If they hit, they hit, but, you know, if they're hitting too regular, well, and you don't want to damage your feet, of course. I have actually injured my heel at one point. I went to stop a strike, and it just flicked off a ball at the last minute, and it hit me right on the heel of my right foot, and I was in agony. I couldn't walk, and I had to concede the game. So it's very, you know, you've got to be careful when you stopping strikes of people. Make sure you don't injure yourself. But the main reason Alan got in touch with me, he phoned me up the other day. Some of you may know he's also an author, and this is the book that he published, 2012, I think I bought this at the Waterloo, Bowls Legends. I must have read, I mean, it's well thumbed, and it goes right back to the start of competitive bowling, starts about the start of the Waterloo, 1900, 1908, and comes right up to 2012, and it has an awful lot in of certainly the later years of who's won what, where and when. There's some really interesting stuff, and a lot of people have been trying to get their hands on it for some time, and Alan got in touch to say he's re-released it. So that's the original, which I've got, and this is the re-release copy, which is now available on Amazon, $14.99 including delivery, which is a bargain if you ask me, and it's absolutely great. Anyone that's interested in bowls at all, and results and who won what, where and when and all the rest of it, that is well worth a read. I remember getting it. I was stopping over for the Waterloo in 2012, and I should have been going out to the pub, and I think I stayed in and read at most of it that night. Let's have a look. Oh, it's just suddenly open on 1997. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, good old Waterloo winner. So, guys, if you're interested in this book, I can recommend it to anyone. Well, in my view, there's two books that every Crown Green bowler should own. J.D. Vosa's Corner to Corner and Over the Crown, which was released, I think, in 1969 originally, but he did do an updated version in the 1990s, I think it was. If you can get your hands on that, great. And also, this book has everything you could need to know about Crown Green bowling and the competitions that took place. Now, Alan, being the nice guy he is, sent me this book and asked me to forward it on to Joe Dickin, who was asking on Facebook for information about how we think bowls has changed over the past 20, 30, 40 years. And Alan said, please send this on to him so he can help with his studies and his research, which just shows to me what a nice chap Alan is, and certainly deserves your support. And if you want to get this book, there's no better way to show your support than to get it bought. Yeah, fantastic, Alan. I'll post that on to Joe Michael. I'll stick it in the post. He even paid for the postage. What a nice chap. There's not many of us left, you know. Not many of us left. So that's it for today. This weekend, well, the Griffin's already started, but it's the Jacko Memorial of the Griffin. I've entered. I thought I'd give it a go. I like to patronise the memorial events at the Griffin. I think it's a nice thing to do. I've drawn somebody called Jay Dyson. Don't know much about him. Can't be much of a player. We'll see how we get on. Also this weekend at the Railway at Pleasanton, I think it's either a 4 or a 6-man team league event is taking place for the next however many weeks. Chris has told me, but me being me, I'm a bit of a muppet and I can't remember. But there'll be a full results roundup on Monday's vlog. And I think that's about all I know. Yeah, nothing else to tell you guys. Have a great weekend. If you go out at the greens, please stay safe, and I'll see you on the other side.